So as we saw in this slide, in this flow chart, we saw a summary of what all animals have, what all animals are, and the 7 essential functions that all animals need to carry out. And so you can see those below. That's movement, respiration, response, excretion, feeding, circulation, and reproduction. And in this video, we're going to talk about 2 of those essential functions. We're going to talk about feeding and respiration. So again, here's your checklist of your body systems. For feeding, animals are going to have some sort of a digestive system that they will need in order to digest their food and get energy from their food. But you have all sorts of different kinds of feeding types, so or what the animals will eat. So you have things that will be herbivores, which we've previously talked about. Those are things that are only going to eat plants and eat plants solely. So those are going to be eating things like roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. You also have carnivores. Those are going to be things that are eating other animals or any other part of their prey. So whether it's blood or muscle or fat. You also have parasites that will live either inside or attached to another animal and typically harm their host by sucking out their blood or bodily fluids. And then you also have filter feeders that are going to be things that are going to be straining tiny things like plants and animals from the water. You also have suspension feeders, but we'll talk about that as well. They're going to stick part of their body into the water to capture food. And then you have detritus feeders. Those are going to be eating the dead stuff, the detritus that's in the water. So essentially, animals have to have some way to get their food, digest their food, get the energy from their food, and use that energy for their own growth. Animals also have to be able to do respiration, and that will typically be in the form of a respiratory system. And why they need to be able to do respiration is because animals are made out of cells, and those cells are alive. And those living cells are going to consume oxygen and release carbon dioxide in the process of cellular respiration, because that is the process that they're going to use to get the energy to run the cell. And so in order to be able to do cellular respiration, they must have oxygen. And so animals must breathe or respire, some way to get the oxygen into their body and then get the waste product of carbon dioxide out. There's several different methods that animals can use to do this. If the animal is small enough, they can actually use their skin to diffuse oxygen into their body and carbon dioxide out. But if you have a larger, more active animal, they're going to be doing things or have things like lungs or gills or something like that in order to actually capture enough oxygen and get rid of the carbon dioxide at a fast enough rate. So they are going to need more complex systems in order to accomplish the same goals.